Alright. So it's been a while since I've done one of these, but with Livonia being all hyped up and lots of people joining and probably playing it for the first time, I figured I'd do a Livonia spawn town loot route kind of guide and bring it back. So now with 1.19, looting is very different, and a lot of these towns in Livonia, if you're a noob, then this won't make any difference to you. But if you've played a little bit of Livonia, you'll probably notice that a lot of the spawn towns are changed up. There's a lot of additions. Here we spawned in Grabin, which you can tell these two little construction sites next to each other. You can see the Tarnow Industrial in the distance. If you right here. If you look over this field, you can see the Tarnow Industrial candy cane stack. You saw it a minute ago. Wow. Well, if you look behind you, you can see the church on the hill that overlooks both Grabin and Tarnow. So those are a couple right off the bat features that will tell you where you're at. And yeah, so if you move inland from here, there's a couple sheds to loot on your way. I already found a shotgun over the sheds. This is actually the new BK-12 single shot shotgun. Oh, sneeze there, sorry. Sometimes it'll spawn with ammo, but this is the look you get with it. It's not my favorite. Not my favorite. I'm not big on shotguns to begin with, but ooh, fishing rod. That's actually going to be really, really key. Food can be kind of tough on Livonia, depending on the town that you spawn in. Grabin, we might get lucky enough to find a pretty decent amount of food, but if you can find stuff to fish with, a fishing rod, maybe some rope, kill a chicken for some bones, I think it's really, really worth doing, because Livonia is very, very tough on food, even if you have enough to get out of your spawn town. Having stuff to fish and hunt is going to be really key to your survival in the long term, because once you start heading south, there's not a lot of towns and villages that are going to be plentiful with food, and we're getting pretty lucky with some food spawns right off the bat, which is good. We will always take that. But something you're going to notice coming into 1.19, if you're a returning player pre 1.19, you'll notice that a lot of items are going to be spawning in damaged and badly damaged, which can be really tough. So this is really impactful for stuff like bullets. So you can see this set of 3 9mm rounds that I found. They were badly damaged. So what that means is they're more likely to jam in your gun. And what that means is if you have 3 shots and they're badly damaged in your gun, the bullets are more likely to jam, and also the more damage the gun is, the more likely that is to jam as well. So you're just upping your chances of misfiring and not actually being able to defend yourself or attack properly. So that's going to really change how people loot and approach attacking other players, because they got another set of damage 357. Because with guns that jam, like your typical pistol, like the M-Lock, the IJ, the CR pistol, we're finding lots of little bits of food, but nothing that's going to hold us over too much. But those very jammable type weapons are going to be, sometimes not good for you to use. So sometimes it's not even worth picking up these damaged rounds, because they could just end up screwing you over in the end. And trying to collect and accumulate as many pristine or worn condition rounds as you possibly can is going to be probably more beneficial in the end. But it also impacts you in areas like a knife, for example. A knife can be very important for opening up food, cutting up animals that you either hunted or you fished for. If you need to, if a body, you kill another player and their body's glitched into the wall or into the ground or something, sometimes cutting them up is the solution to that, so you can access their loot. Knives are very important. They serve a lot of purposes and functions in the game if you know what you're doing, and if you need to know what you're doing with a knife. You need to make a fire with a knife with a hand drill kit, or you know, find out how to make a knife. Maybe check out some of my other guides on the channel. But knives are very important, and a lot of times you're gonna find them in bad condition. So you're gonna have to really think about and prioritize how you use your knife in any given situation, because it's not that multi-utility tool anymore that you can just hold like a machete with, and then you can use that as your melee, your can opener, your butcher knife. You can't just do that because you're gonna wear it down super fast. On top of the fact that I'm pretty sure they made it so that those items do wear down faster with less usage. So yeah, just be mindful of how you're using the knife item that you find. Right now we don't even have a knife. Luckily we found items that we don't need you know, a knife to open, to eat. But you know, sometimes you'll get unlucky and find a couple cans of beans and you don't have an opener, and that can be pretty frustrating if you're starving to death. As you can see, there's some drop loot in the road. We are playing an official server, so looks like someone's been through here recently, probably. We are getting lots of like these crackers and other small snack items. That can be good. They'll hold us over while we loot, but they're not going to be anything too special in terms of you know, your long-term energy efficiency. But Grabin is actually a nice little spot to spawn at. There's now, especially with these apartments, which will be, we'll check them out. Apartments in 1.19 do have loot, at least on the Livonia, as far as I'm aware. And they can be pretty good for finding an early game pistol, or you know, some ammo and the odd bits of food. You know, pretty similar to houses. So it just gives you a little bit more of a chance to potentially get yourself, you know, a few decent items if you take the time to loot them. But yeah, Grabin is not so bad. You get the apartments, which are good for that. You got lots of houses. You've got a hunting store, which, you know, you can find hunting rifle ammo for, scopes, hunting clothes. You have this little stand here that leads you to the police station, which we're heading towards now. Always check the police station, because on Livonia, they love to spawn press vests, and at the very least, maybe you'll get a press vest, and it'll be fine either way. But you get a ballistic vest, probably, more than likely. The spawns are pretty good on Livonia in terms of that, so, you know, hopefully you get lucky and get a press. If not, you usually will get a stab, and if not, you just check another police station elsewhere. You can see there's tons. We might actually take this repeater. I don't like the repeater. We do have lots of ammo for it, so we'll keep it for now. Anybody that knows me knows that I kind of think the repeater is one of the worst guns in the game, but, you know, it's fine. Yeah, so just on this main road alone, you have lots of houses. You got those apartments, hunting store. You got the police station, like we said. And lots of goodies along just this main road. And then there's if you're down on the side road, which I'll take you down, you'll see there's plenty more of decent stuff to get your hands on as well. Lots more houses and other things. Another on the other side of the river, you'll see there's a police spawn. You know, there's a military tent, a couple of tin military barracks on top of on top of a lot of police loot spawns. There you go, there's your stab vest. It's damaged. Or badly damaged? Yeah, badly damaged. But nonetheless, it is a protective vest. Getting up these. Oh, and there you go. Like I said, looks like someone dropped this. But we'll definitely take a pristine press vest. That's not easy to come by. Just take your time looting these. Make sure you check all the corners, all the rooms, just in case there's something that you probably might miss. I always check the roof too. Like when you're early game like this and you really don't have much to lose, walking on the roof can't hurt. That's deep in the woods out there. Maybe someone has base or stash. That's weird. But yeah, it doesn't really hurt. So you'll see that way will take you to Columbrody. You can take that left road up to Tarnow. If you already looted the town, coming up here and going to Tarnow is a nice little step before you go into the true deep south of the map. It's not a bad next step, but we still have a lot more to loot here. So I'm gonna keep pressing on and check that stuff out. And typically that's not the way that I like to go either. I like to go and follow this east road and go to Sitnik, because Sitnik is one of the best towns to loot early game in my opinion. Especially if you get a Columbrody or a Grabin spawn and you come this eastern way, if you don't get everything that you need to get in Columbrody and Grabin, or just Grabin alone, more often than not, you'll find everything you need at Sitnik. It has everything that you could think of, except maybe a big amount of military spawn, but I mean, it's a spawn town technically, so that can't really be expected. Like I said, we'll check out maybe just one of these apartment buildings. It's honestly not the craziest thing in terms of loot, but I have found revolvers, I found deagles, deagle mags. I think I found the occasional IJ, and the little bit of time I've spent on 1.19 between experimental and official. So they definitely are worth it, and I found cans of foods, canned spaghetti, dog food, cat food, canned pork, just some of the things that I found. Can find the snacky type foods here as well. It's really good for just a few basic early game items that, you know, maybe you don't find as often in houses. And people still might think like, hey, maybe these don't spawn loot, because they didn't used to. Especially on Trinaris, they 100% did not used to. But that changed in the update, so. If you're desperate for food, this is probably a pretty decent place to take a look. But no luck here. We'll just move on. Sometimes the roofs can spawn some stuff too, but you know, this is more of just a little tour around, see if we find anything kind of thing. I don't really have we don't have shotgun shells, or we don't have a shotgun to shoot those shells with, but in case we change our mind and find like a pump shotgun or something, we'll hold on to them for now. I do like to keep, you know, until I find a scoped weapon, I do like to keep a set of binoculars or a rangefinder on me to scope out prospective towns I'm about to loot, so that's just a personal preference type thing. Is that a long stick? I thought maybe it was an improvised fishing rod. But either way, that doesn't spawn there, so we know someone's been here. We did hear the shots earlier, so yeah. Actually, oh, what am I thinking? We have a rope and a burlap sack. Gonna make my favorite backpack. It's super light, gives you an extra 30 slots, which maybe isn't the greatest in terms of you know, storage, because I know maybe a lot of you, especially if you're new, you might like to carry as much stuff as possible, but this is a really good bag. A lot of other backpacks will be very noisy on your back, and it's, oh, can opener, nice. And it's really, if you really pay attention to the audio, it can give you away. So having a backpack that's light and doesn't make a lot of noise is really important. And anybody who watches my gameplay knows I'm very, very big on being as quiet as possible, especially when I'm a solo player, because the more noise you make, the more likely people are to notice you. And as a solo, you want to be able to give yourself that element of surprise factor against other players, whether it's another solo or a duo or a trio, that will put you in the best position possible to win a gunfight. As you can see, I kind of stumbled across this well. There are two wells in Grabin. The other one's just down the road. So if you look at the front of these apartments, just straight down past the garages, you'll find this first well between these bushes. And you also probably caught a glimpse of the medical to my right, so we'll go check that out. If you've watched previous iterations of this, you know I like to hide my more noticeable items. Like having a sledgehammer on my back is maybe kind of putting a target on myself, so I do like to keep those hidden if possible. Don't really need those damaged rounds. We can get this repeater and get these rifled slugs as well if we change our mind on not taking a shotgun. Something else to keep in mind in 1.19, if you haven't played it yet or you haven't noticed, they really changed around the movement system. There's this they added an inertia system to the game, so you'll notice that movement is very different. You won't be able to move side to side as fast, and maybe running away from zombies isn't the best option. So creeping around and being quiet is really efficient, because Livonia tends to have a lot of areas that will have tons of zombies in high concentration. So you want to be able to either sneak around or you have something in hand to one-tap them with. I like the sledge, the fire axe, the splitting axe, pickaxe. All those will one-tap a zombie if you hit them with a power hit to the head in the head hitbox. So if you keep that in mind, and you keep, you know, one of those one-tap tools on you, and you can learn the timing a bit. There's a gas mask here. As you can see, these surrounding houses, as I've pointed out in other videos similar to this, points of interest like this, the police stations and medical buildings in particular will spawn items of their kind in, you know, a small proximity. So a few houses around will actually have medical loot or police loot sometimes. But yeah, being able to be proficient in melee is really important, because running around and locking a bunch of zombies into houses is maybe not the most efficient method anymore, and because of, like I said, the new movement system, you're more likely to clip onto doors. That's been a big problem in the update so far, even more so than in the past. So I do really recommend that you have, you know, a means to defend yourself with, and learn how to get good with it. Learn the timing, learn when to use it, how to hit the head box every time, so on and so forth. And, you know, obviously these buildings might have loot as well, but for the sake of time and just showing you the town and where I like to loot, we're gonna keep moving on. Found that shotgun. We have the ammo for it in the back slot, so we might as well. But there's a lot of houses along this road. This main road will take you down to another well. There's a chicken. We actually might want to take that to go fishing. We'll just hit that and we'll pick it up and take it with us, because we actually don't have anything to cut it up with, so just gotta hold on to it for now. Something you might want to consider doing, because as you can see there's a lot of zombies in this area, very concentrated, so sometimes making a noise is efficient in just drawing a couple out and killing them off one by one. Maybe it's not good at hiding your tracks and other players might see that, but it's better to just get rid of the threats while they're kind of in your way, and you know, take them out one by one, rather than dealing with them all at once. I do also want to try in 1.19 they did add something interesting. So now, let's take this glow stick. Now, if you throw an item, it makes a noise. Well, we didn't hear it because it was too far away, and it went into the ground. That's DayZ. But the zombie did get alerted by the item being thrown, and maybe that's a good way to lure out a couple at a time. If you don't want to give yourself away via voice. If you throw an item and there's a player nearby, they'll hear the item hit, but they won't hear your voice. So that might be a new method of attracting zombies out and dealing with them. Zombie is a little bit of a tank. It happens. So, here. Don't necessarily... We do need this. But let's just, for example, throw this at the wall. See? It's a little... You know, it's still a work in progress. I don't think... I hope this is not the finished product, but... You know, items do make noises now, which is pretty cool. It adds a little bit to the immersion factor. But as I said... There's the next well. We don't really necessarily need to drink out of it. I just took a bunch of sips of the previous one. Oh shit. Here we go. So as you can see, getting on top of this car, and I don't typically recommend doing this, but this zombie right here, if you're playing in a Halloween time, you'll probably run into maybe a couple of these. And these bad boys are fucking tanks, and they're meant to be. If you let this hit you, I think it's 2 or 3 hits will knock you out, and you will be bleeding probably. They do lots of damage, do lots of shock damage and health damage, and they take lots of hits to kill. It might be best to try and lock these ones up if you're not really experienced in fighting and with melee or with zombies in general. You know, if you're brand new, makes sense. But if you do know kind of what you're doing, and you get yourself on top of an elevated surface like this, you make yourself a bit of a target to other players, but that is really the best and the only way to handle these mummy zombies. And keep in mind, these are... I got this other one creeping up on us. Keep in mind, these are only, you know... for the Halloween season, I believe. They probably will be out after Halloween ends. After October. But, you know, if you're watching this now, upon release... Oh, fuck. So as you can see, hit me one time, I'm bleeding, and I took a lot of shock damage. So I'll bandage up quick. Can't get us up here, so... The perk is, so you're probably wondering, if they're so strong, why should I fight them in the first place? And I'll show you. But, they will yield a lot of, loot. Not a lot, but loot that I think is pretty worth it early game. This thing is, like, eating up my sledgehammer uses. Yeah, finally killed it. Don't know how many hits that took. You can go back and count, but... There you go, an EpiPen, a pox antidote, and a full disinfected bandage. Like, that's pretty good loot for off of a zombie. Although it does take quite a lot to kill it. So that decision is up to you. But you know, if I'm early game and I don't really have much to begin with, I'm probably gonna take that. Especially because stuff like a pox antidote is really rare. Got ourselves another shot. You see a gun on the ground, even if it's one that you already have, always check to see if it has ammo. Sometimes they do spawn with ammo. There's some gloves. Leather kit's really nice for patching up. Our press vest if we get hit. Okay, another bullet. Another red slug or red buckshot. And yeah, we'll move on to this last bit of Grabin that I want to show you. So this bit across the bridge, first of all, it's usually better to come across here if you want to do some fishing. I like to come across and go over to a little pond that the river branches off into. It's a lot more secluded and away from the craziness that Grabin can be at times. I mean, we heard shots off in the distance. There's probably someone with a base that likes to come in here and loot throughout quite a bit. So, you know, it's nice to know where to go and be able to get in and out quickly, because this place can get chaotic, that's for sure. It looks like someone may have been here recently, because, yeah, look at that. There's not a lot of zombies. Usually this is crawling, absolutely crawling with zombies. There are some. As you can see, I sprinted up, and I'm so used to doing the running attack hit. As you've probably seen in other videos. And I still have to get that habit out of my head. Because it takes a lot of running to get the running attack off. And sometimes it's just not worth it. Because the zombies do that dodge. You can't do the running attack quite as fast. It's usually easier to just let them come to you and power hit them. It's more efficient. That's stuff going. Maybe this was the shooting we heard. It sounded much farther. But was low caliber weapons. A scorpion. Oh, there's a pump shotty. We'll take that. They had some pretty decent stuff. Some food. Look at all this. Wow. I forgot that chicken. Lots of good stuff there. I won't take it all. But what I will do, I think I'm going to get rid of this repeater, to be honest. And we'll just go with the pump shotgun. Got lots of 357, but the repeater is badly damaged and I just don't really like it as a weapon. So much more comfortable with the pump. We're also going to do, oh, we don't have a knife. Did they have? They did. So we're actually going to cut this player up. And as you've probably seen in other videos, we already have a fishing rod, so we just need the bones. The bones we will make into to fishing hooks. Seems a little weird, seems a little morbid, but trust me, it's efficient. And there's lots of other stuff here that I wish I can take. Take this soda. Boom. And there's a little upgrade there. And yeah. Looks like we missed out on a little fight, which, you know, stuff happens. But these little pin shack things can actually spawn some police stuff, an occasional weapon, maybe a vest, helmet. I don't know, I've seen all sorts of stuff in these. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. Lots of people will come and loot these. It's more so the zombies that'll have the better stuff for you. Truthfully. They'll spawn 5.56 rounds, they'll spawn 9mm. Sometimes knives, lots of good stuff that can help you get going. Screwdriver. Industrial loot, sometimes some police loot, depending on where you look, sometimes military loot. And some very basic things that can help you get started. Now I've kind of given you the quick tour of Grabin. There's a couple other little nitpicky things that I'll show you on our way out. Typically, I showed you can go up to Tarnow or you can go over to Calm Burning. Probably not a good idea. Tarnow is probably your better bet if you want to go, you know, kind of straight into the southern region of the map. I'll just keep this in hand for now. Or on our back. We're kind of at a point where people are gonna shoot us anyway, so fuck it, right? Yeah, so if you want to go straight south, go right into the heartlands of Livonia. If you get a Grabin spawn, you know, Tarnow is probably a really, really good next step. But if you feel like you still need some more stuff, or you want to, you know, maybe have a better chance at a rifle, Sitnik is probably your better call. And I will take you on the route that I usually take to Sitnik. Didn't show these yet. I'm gonna come up here, back up this main road that we already went. And we're gonna cut through behind the medical and such. There are some more houses here and there out in the back of these doubles, but we actually we have a lot of stuff for this early game. So sometimes it's best to just kind of take the win and get the hell out. Like I say in almost every one of these videos that I've made, it's when you get into a spawn town, it's best to get as much as you can, get what you need, and to get out as fast as possible, because the longer that you stay in a spawn town, the more likely you probably are to die, unfortunately. So we'll go past these. I think you can see some more houses. Some of these will spawn medical loot because they are close enough to the building. But here we go. Here's what I want to show. There are a couple of sort of hidden hunting cabins here. I think there used to be 2 or 3 of them, but this might be the lone one that they left. But obviously still worth checking out. Weapon cleaning kit, you can find longhorns, rifle ammo, scopes, sometimes rifles themselves. And honestly, it's a little bit more common now with a few changes that they made and additions to the map. But hunting gear is really tough to come by sometimes. Oh, there's the other one. I think they moved it. I don't think it used to be there. But hunting gear can be kind of short on supply, and actually, where I'm taking you towards Sitnik will run us by probably one of the better places to find hunting gear on this map. So I like to come up and make sure I hit these, or another few houses. There's still more houses on the main road that lead east towards Sitnik. So if you need some more food, there we go, it's a box of buckshot. Nice, we'll take that. But if you need some more food, or maybe some ammo for a shotgun or just a gun, it's good to hit those houses. But otherwise, I like to hit those summer camp cabins, and I actually come back towards the river. And there's a nice little path. There we are. Nice little dirt path along the lake / river that will take us where we need to go. So I'm going to take you to this summer camp where I usually will go from Grabin, and then that'll lead you into Sitnik, and from there, that's kind of up to you where you go. We'll probably have a more in-depth Sitnik loot run guide. I'm going to try and cover all the bases with Livonia, as I did with Trinaris. But I think getting you from Grabin to Sitnik and stopping at the summer camp right before, that's probably a good amount for just one video. You just keep the river on your left here. Then you'll start to see more reeds over the field, which is where the river kind of turns into more of a lake. It's actually where the spawn river ends on the east side of the map. You want to go around this lake, because otherwise, if you follow the path, you'll go to that sawmill over there, which has a car spawn. It has a couple zombies and some industrial loot, but you don't want to go there. You want to go around this way, right side of the lake, and you just kind of hug the lake until you see the cabins, which we can probably see through this clearing. Not really, with the fog and the trees in the way. These are actually some pretty nice places to go fishing. This is more secluded, obviously. Back in. It started raining. No, it was raining on me. Got kicked, wasn't it? But yeah, you just kind of follow this lake around. You'll start to, you'll just cut through these reeds, and eventually you'll get to the summer camp. And it's not much, but It can be really big if you get lucky. Get yourself a rifle maybe some scopes or some ammo. Oh, there we go. Right here through the clearing. The lake really takes it right to it. Once it starts to bend off to the left, more north, that's when you can cut off and go to the camp. It's only a set of, I think, 4 or 5 summer camp cabins, but it's honestly one of the bigger collections of summer camp cabins on the map. You'll find a lot more condensed areas in Trinars, but Livonia is much more difficult to find rifles and such. Not a lot of areas to find them. So let's deal with these zombies quick. Bang. Wait for this one and oh. I got a stamina. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6. Excuse me. There's 6 of them. You can find gas stoves, gas cans, rifle ammo, rifles, scopes, shotgun rounds, just hunting gear in general. We are not getting too lucky with the spawns, but you know, I thought it would be helpful just to show you this area nonetheless. Chlorine tabs can be really good if you get lost on Livonia. If you're new to Livonia and don't know the map so well, it's obviously not a bad idea to carry some chlorine tabs so you can just clean some water on the go whenever you need it. There's a hunter jacket. A sheath. Yeah, not much. Not much here, unfortunately. Soda and some more shotgun rounds. You know, we'll take it, obviously. It's not nothing. But, you know, that was a pretty unlucky cabin run. Nonetheless, though. I mean, between Grabin and looting that, we have quite a lot of stuff. We did get lucky finding a dead body that was left a decent amount of loot I'm able to pick from. And honestly, probably other people might have taken more than what I did, but I have my specific way of playing. And, yeah, so I guess from here is normally, I have a lot of food, probably don't need to, but I'll combine the knife with the bones, makes this a bone hook. Boom. And they actually made the bone hooks way more durable. One of the few things they made more durable. You used to only get 2 uses, so when you're fishing, you'll hear a click, and that usually means you caught something, whether it's wellies, a fish, a cooking pot, or sometimes even nothing. You'll catch nothing, aka the fish took the bait, but you didn't catch it. One of those counted as a use. You get 2 of them, and then the fishing, the bone hook would be done. But now, you get a lot more uses out of it. You get more than 2. So, it is super well worth keeping a stack of bones on you now. Do a little bit of fishing on the go. I usually like to keep a rope on me, so I can make a fishing rod anywhere without having to carry this big one. The actual one. I mean, the benefit to having an actual one is it'll fish a lot faster. But a rope and some bones will do you just fine. And fishing and hunting will be very, very big on Livonia because, like I said, once you start going south, it's a lot more military areas, industrial areas, and food will be a lot more difficult to come by. So it's a lot easier to do, and there you go, fucking wellies. As you can see, it's still pristine after one use. It used to be, I think, damaged. Yeah, for the sake of showing you how to fish and getting things going, I think this is pretty efficient, pretty good for our first loot run back from Livonia, or on Livonia this time. Yeah, so if you enjoyed, If you found this to be helpful, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell. I do live stream here on YouTube, so if you want to see me do all these things live, or get into some action, some shenanigans, you should hit the like button. Or if you're just waiting for more of these or other video content, that could be good for you. I'm also on this. I also have my own Discord, which is pretty cool. And actually, if you're looking for a Livonia server to play on yourself, that's kind of low pop and low key, and has a cool community, and doesn't have a lot of mods, and it's probably a good place for you to start your Livonia journeys. Check out Cult of Livonia. I'll put the server information in the description, but that's actually a server that I'm affiliated with and work on pretty heavily creatively. So if you want to maybe bump into me sometime on Livonia, I'm on there lots, so make sure to check that out. But otherwise, that's it for this time, and I'll see you guys in the next one for another Livonia loot run. Bye-bye.